Sawadee-ka. Welcome to Thailand News Today with me, Natty, again. I'll be standing in for Jet today for the last day this year. In today's program, Thailand is preparing for a potential outbreak of the Omicron Covid-19 variant, TAT's prediction of the tourism sector, and Thailand ready to host Andrea Bocelli for New Year's. All that and more coming right up. Thailand is preparing for a potential outbreak of the Omicron Covid-19 variant with plans to revive the home isolation program. Dr. Somsak Akasin from the Public Health Ministry's Medical Services Department says home isolation can be used for most infected people, along with community isolation facilities in Bangkok. According to a Thai PBS World report, Somsak is confident that home or community isolation will suffice in most cases, citing reports from other countries that the strain is less life-threatening than the Delta strain. He says in most cases, the symptoms are similar to those of an upper respiratory tract infection and include fever, sore throat, and dry cough. Some patients have experienced mild lung infection but showed improvement after 3 days of receiving favipiravir antiviral medication. Somsak adds that there are around 11,000 hospital beds available for patients who experience more serious lung infections. Officials are expecting cases of the highly contagious Omicron variant to increase in line with the development around the world. However, Dr. Kietipoom Wongrachit from the Public Health Ministry has urged people not to panic. He says the public can trust the Thai healthcare system, given its success at containing the more dangerous Delta variant at a time when just 20% of the country was vaccinated. Kietipoom added that cooperation from the public remains essential when it comes to preventing the spread of the virus. At the time of this writing, Thailand has 514 confirmed or suspected cases of the Omicron variant, with infections now reported in 14 provinces. Kietipoom echoes Somsak's statement that the country's hospitals have enough beds to accommodate a mass outbreak, and if necessary, the number of beds around the country can be increased to 200,000, as happened during the Delta outbreak. According to the Thai PBS World report, Kietipoom says the Health Ministry has 15 million tablets of favipiravir in stock, enough for 2 months. Meanwhile, the government pharmaceutical organization can produce 30 million pills within a month. The normally optimistic Tourism Authority of Thailand is feeling slightly more downbeat amid concerns about a potential Omicron outbreak. TAT Governor Yuttasak Supason says the threat of another COVID-19 outbreak is affecting travel sentiment. According to a Bangkok Post report, he expects New Year travel to generate just 8.04 billion baht in domestic tourism revenue. He said, quote, concerns over a possible outbreak of the new Omicron variant have affected local tourist plans for the New Year holiday. But younger generations continue to travel as they have confidence in preventative measures, end quote. The TAT predicts that reduced spending in the period from December 31st to January 3rd will confirm the downturn in travel demand compared to other holiday periods. They say this is due to both a slowdown in the economy and the emergence of the highly contagious Omicron variant. The Bangkok Post reports that domestic tourists are expected to generate 8.04 billion baht in tourism revenue from 2.63 million trips. And while overall hotel occupancy hovers at around 48%, that figure plunges to 18% in Bangkok and 16% in Phuket. This means hotel occupancy in both Bangkok and Phuket is lower than in places like Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai, both very popular winter destinations. The TAT is pinning its hopes on various official countdown events organized for Phuket, Chiang Mai, Nakhon Ratchasima, Ayutthaya, and Rayong. Tourism officials expect those events to lead to 545,000 domestic trips and 2.04 billion baht in revenue. However, there is still a threat of events being cancelled due to Omicron. The Bangkok Post reports that Yuttasak believes that even without a lockdown, a serious COVID-19 outbreak would directly hit tourism and the overall economy, given that purchasing power has not had enough time to recover. This means domestic tourism would be unlikely to improve significantly in 2022, with trip numbers and revenue remaining the same as this year. The southern island of Phuket is getting ready to welcome renowned Italian tenor Andrea Bocelli, who will help to ring in 2022 at the Saphan Hin public park. According to a Bangkok Post report, Tourism Minister Pipat Rachakit says the island's New Year countdown event will go ahead under strict disease prevention measures. All attendees will need to show proof of being fully vaccinated and produce a negative COVID-19 test result taken no more than 72 hours prior. The event is expected to kick off at 8 p.m. and in addition to Bocelli, will feature 10 Thai artists and finish up with the obligatory New Year firework display. Pipat said that along with proof of vaccination and a negative test result, attendees will be required to observe social distancing measures. He says he's also optimistic that next year's tourism figures will be better, predicting between 1.3 and 1.8 trillion baht in tourism revenue. Meanwhile, Thapani Kiatpaiboon from the Tourism Authority of Thailand is feeling confident that Phuket's countdown event can take place safely, saying that since the island sandbox reopening, local residents have become accustomed to remaining vigilant about COVID-19. The island's Deputy Governor, Piapong Chuwong, agrees. He says all necessary preparations have been made for the countdown event, and officials continue to provide the COVID-19 Operations Center with regular updates. Meanwhile, Dr. Kusak Kukiatikun from the Provincial Public Health Department says the event will take place under strict disease prevention measures, which have been checked and agreed by the island's Communicable Disease Committee. With clashes just across the border between the Myanmar state military and the ethnic army troops so close that bullets are now landing on Thai soil, students in Mae Hong Son are being trained on how to escape if the gunfire reaches the school grounds. Soldiers and teachers ran drills over the weekend for students at the Bantafang school. An 8-meter-long, 1.5-meter-high shelter is on the school grounds to protect the students. The walls are made of concrete and the roof is made of wood and sand sacks. Food and water supplied in the shelter is enough to last 3 days. The pictures shared by Thai media showed 7 to 10-year-old students wearing their school uniforms and face masks, running and hiding under the shelter. The school is limited when it comes to equipment to keep the students safe, so the school is taking steps to prepare the students in case of a violence. Around 50 to 100 Thais and foreigners in Pattaya held a protest last Friday, accusing the assistant manager of a local Kasikorn bank branch of scamming them out of more than 300 million baht. A report was filed back in February accusing the assistant bank manager of defrauding people out of millions of baht. For some, it was their life savings, by promising high returns for investments. One expat held a sign saying, "Danger K-Bank, not return our money." Another person had a sign saying, "Danger, our money is not safe at K-Bank." According to Thai media, the bank agreed to pay back at a total amount of around 300 million baht plus interest. Reports say the bank didn't provide compensation on back as they promised, though, and a document demanding compensation was sent again with a deadline of December 20th, but there was no response from the bank, and customers who lost money in investments then decided to hold a protest. Protesters agreed with authorities to hold off on rallies until January 11th to give officials time to review the case. You're all caught up now. That wraps up the show for today. Do catch Jet tomorrow for all the latest updates for Thailand and beyond. I'm Natty from the Thaiger. Sawadee ka.